Hey guys.
Hi guys.
I have a couple of my mini bean babies here. We have Mia with the purple hair. She's a pink toddler. Punk toddler.
Oh, you said many. I thought you said many, like small. I'm like, Mia's not small.
No, many. M-A.
Okay.
It's alright. I already screwed it up. It's fine. That's the second time I've said pink in relation to her.
I call purple.
Yeah, in my collection video I said she has pink and white hair, which she clearly does not. But
Yeah.
anyways, moving on. I'm not even going to cut that.
Let's talk about all our mistakes.
Care.
Let's
air all our dirty laundry on YouTube. That's what we do, right? Anyways, these are a few of my many bean babies. Mia has the purple hair. She's a punk toddler. Zuli is a zombie. She's the Cocomeloo with the green bows.
I love her.
And of course, Simone is a zombie.
Oh, Simone's my favorite.
Which one?
Zuli and Simone.
Oh, you don't even know.
And a little.
Hers changes every day. Anyways, I wanted to talk about the dolls themselves because there's been a lot of talk about what the community means, and you guys know I love you guys. But there's always this, from outsiders, this sort of idea that they're just plastic, and how can you love a plastic thing, and why don't, I've seen everything. Like, why don't you have a real kid, blah, 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 like...
Because real kids cost
Because
money.
real kids are expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, you think dolls are expensive, and that's a whole other thing. Like, real kids and dolls, there is no comparison.
Real kids cost college funds, okay?
And they cost so much, there's so much energy. You have to give up your entire life.
Yeah.
And that's just real. And if you aren't willing to give up your entire life, then you need to not be having kids, because that's what it is.
But some people have kids and dolls,
and they do fine. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, like, I am very happy with the fact that they are dolls and they don't cry and they don't poop and they don't do any of that. Like, that pleases me to no end, that I can sit them in the crib for 2 weeks and have a kidney stone or whatever, and like, they're good.
And I can say I'm good with that too, because I nannied for a very long time.
So she knows. And I did have a stepdaughter in my first marriage, and I loved her very much. She was a wonderful kid, but oh my gosh, a kid is different than a doll, is all I'm saying. But to the point of my video, people talk about these like, they're used tires or something. Like, there's just nothing special about them. And I really feel like that's disrespectful, not only to the collector who has this doll that is special to them for whatever reason, but it's also disrespectful to the sculptor and the artist who painted the doll. And that's kind of what I want to talk about. Like, when I look at Simone, or I look at Zuli, or I look at Mia, I don't just see a doll, quote unquote. I don't just see plastic and, glass eyes and whatever. I don't see these dolls like that. When I look at them, what I see and why I love them is I see what went into their creation. Because these dolls, every single one of them, almost, because there's not too many sculptors that are also reborn artists, almost every single one of them are a collaboration of different artists.
And different talents.
Yeah, and different inspirations and all of that. So you've got this doll where, like, if you look at Simone, for example, or Zuli, they have very expressive faces. Very, very interesting, expressive faces. And that was a vision in someone's mind. Like the Lulu kit was sculpted by Jen Printy, and that was a vision in her mind that she made a reality. These are not scans, any of these dolls of a real baby, which are also beautiful, but in a different way. Like, this is someone's artistic vision that they made into a 3D tangible thing.
Right.
And then it goes off to a reborn artist who brings it to life and paints it and brings those expressions out. They really flesh out, especially with Bean. She's very talented at fleshing out the expression, which is one of the reasons I love her as an artist. You take this kit that is already very expressive and is already someone's artistic vision, and then you put another artist's artistic vision on top of that. So when I see these dolls, I don't see them as plastic things. I see the blood and the sweat and the tears that went into sculpting them. I see the hours that went into painting them. They are an expression of someone's heart and soul.
Right.
And more than one person, most of the time. Like I said, most of the time it's an artist and a sculptor, and they're different. They're different people. So you're seeing this blended, beautiful, artistic expression. And that's why these are different than Walmart dolls, and that's why they are special. It's not just because they're handmade and they're all one of a kind. It's because these represent a piece of someone's heart and soul. And that's why they're special to me. And when I look at them, that's what I see. I don't just see it's a doll.
Yeah,
if I wanted a doll or, vinyl, I would go to Walmart and buy one. These are not that. These are something very special. And that's what's special about reborns. And that's why looking at them makes me happy. I feel happy. And sometimes, and if you're not an artist, you probably don't know this, but sometimes you set out to make a certain type of doll, like a zombie, and it becomes a fairy, or it becomes an alien, or a human becomes a zombie, or whatever. When you're an artist, sometimes you think you're going to make something, and the universe, or the muse, or whatever you want to call it, comes in and says, actually, no, I want to be this. And it's a really interesting process, and it's something I didn't understand fully until I became an artist.
I always feel like it's like bringing it out the inner spirit of the doll.
Yeah. I mean, and it's so interesting. When I look at kits, I just find it fascinating that... So the Lulu kit, for example, when I look at that kit, like, when I first saw that kit, when it first came out, I hated that kit. I thought it was so... I hate saying this now.
Goofy looking.
But I thought it was so goofy looking and so unrealistic and so just really... I really thought it was ugly. I hate to say that. It pains my soul to say that about Simone, but that's what I thought. And then I saw Simone, and it completely changed my whole idea of this kit. Like, I fell in love with her. I thought she was incredible. Like, Bean captured something in this kit that I could not see before. And now it's one of my favorite kits. But I wouldn't have seen that if she hadn't made Simone. And it stuns me, like, the difference different artists can make with one kit, to where it almost doesn't even look the same anymore.
Yeah.
And kits that I have really, really liked, I have seen... Massacred, that's a good word, thank you. And kits that I really, really disliked, artists have painted them in such a way that it turns me into a fan, and I see parts of them that I did not see before. And I think that is magical. I think that's part of what is incredible about this hobby. And if you're an outsider, you probably don't see that. You see plastic babies. And I hate to break it to the folks that like to make fun of us, but this hobby is not about pretending these are real children, bottle feeding them. It's not about any of that. We do reaction videos and we do role play videos because they're fun and they're interesting. But it's not about any of that. At least not to me, and I think to most people it's not about that. It's about having a piece of someone's heart.
That's well put.
That's what they are. And I hope that anyone who has any doll that I've made feels the same way. Like, this is a piece of that person. And it makes them very special. It makes them very different than a piece of plastic.
Yes.
So that's basically what I wanted to say about the dolls. I feel like it's really offensive to compare them to, like, a Tylenol bottle, which is another piece of plastic. Like, that's not what they are. These are a piece of someone's soul. And to call it anything else, you might as well go into an art museum and, kick a hole through one of the paintings. It's just cruel to me.
It is.
And that's really all I wanted to say. I think they're magical. I think they're incredible little things. And they bring me a lot of joy just looking at their little faces. And I don't know. That's all I wanted to say.